Most of us begin our spiritual journey with a deep longing, a quiet ache inside that whispers, there must be something more than this. Something more than the stress, more than the routines, more than the emptiness that comfort, success, or even religion never fully fill. And so the search begins. We search for meaning, for answers, for peace, for God. We join meditations, attend retreats, read books, visit temples, chant mantras, repeat affirmations hoping that somewhere, somehow, we will find the missing piece. But Joel Goldsmith revealed a truth so simple it almost feels impossible to accept. The moment you seek, you silently declare that you believe God is not here yet, that you are not enough yet, that something is missing. But what if the very one who is searching is the only illusion that ever existed? What if you're not lost at all, only unaware of what's already present within you? Awakening is not a mountaintop you climb to. It's the ground you've always been standing on but didn't recognize. Joel often said, "You're not on a journey to God. You're on a journey of removing the beliefs that hide God as your very self." Awakening is not about becoming something higher. It is about realizing something deeper, that what you are seeking is the very awareness that is hearing these words right now. There was a woman named Mira who spent 18 years chasing spiritual experiences. She traveled from ashram to ashram, teacher to teacher, hoping someone would unlock enlightenment for her. She meditated at dawn, performed rituals, repeated mantras until her voice cracked, yet the more she searched, the more peace escaped her. One day, at a Joel Goldsmith study circle, she said, "I've meditated for thousands of hours. Why can't I find God?" The teacher simply asked, "Tell me, Mira, if God is infinite, where exactly are you searching that He is not?" That night, drained and exhausted, she sat in silence. No chants, no rituals, no techniques, just stillness. And within that stillness, she realized something profound. Peace didn't arrive because she earned it. Peace revealed itself the moment she stopped drowning it with the noise of seeking. She later said, "For years, I searched everywhere except the one place God had always been within." This is the great paradox of the spiritual path. You don't find God the way you find a lost object. You awaken to God the way you awaken from a dream. The separation was never real. The distance was never real. The seeker was the dream, not the self. There was a man named Arjun who always felt like he was running behind in life, behind in career, behind in success, behind spiritually. He compared himself constantly and believed awakening was always ahead of him, always out of reach. He once told Joel, "Everyone else is growing spiritually, and I'm stuck." Joel looked at him calmly and asked, "Behind whom? Behind what? Who decides the pace of God?" Arjun didn't know what to say. Joel continued, "You are not behind. You are imagining distance where none exists. The very awareness that feels behind is the presence already waking up." That night, something shifted in Arjun. For the first time, he stopped trying to catch up. Instead, he simply became present. And ironically, life began to align in ways he never expected. Opportunities came without force, decisions became clear, stress dissolved. He later said, "I didn't move closer to God. I realized I had never moved away." Seeking creates suffering because every act of pursuit says, "I don't have it." The I am within you is already whole, already complete, already here. You don't chase the sun when you're standing in daylight. You simply open your eyes. Another real story comes from a mother named Anjali. She prayed every morning and night for her son who struggled with addiction. She begged God for signs, guidance, some reassurance that He was listening, but she felt nothing. She approached Joel with tears in her eyes and said, "Why doesn't God answer me? Why is He silent?" Joel responded gently, "God is not silent. Your fear is louder." He asked her, "When you pray, do you pray as a frightened mother reaching upward, or as the presence of God expressing itself as a mother?" Something broke open within her. That night she stopped praying outward. Instead, she placed her hand on her heart and whispered, "If God is within me, I don't need to reach out. I need to listen." She didn't pray for a miracle. She simply rested. And in that rest, she finally felt held. Not by an external God, but by a presence within her that had never left. Her son's recovery didn't happen instantly, but her panic dissolved. Her fear disappeared. And her calmness became the environment where healing naturally began. Not because she changed him, but because her awareness changed. Joel taught that you don't heal the false self. You wake up from it. Trying to fix your ego is like trying to polish a reflection in a mirror. The problem is not the reflection. The problem is forgetting that you are not the reflection at all. Take a moment and consider this. The times you've felt disconnected from God were not moments of distance. They were moments when the mind was louder than the soul. The moments you felt unworthy were not signs of spiritual failure. They were signs of awakening trying to break through old beliefs. The moments you felt spiritually behind were not truth. They were symptoms of identifying with the wrong you. Joel said, "The soul has never been lost. Only the mind wanders. The real you, the I am, has never moved, never lacked, never fallen. It only waits for the seeker to grow tired. Because when the seeker collapses, the self awakens." The truth is, your longing doesn't come from emptiness. Your longing comes from the presence inside you trying to open your awareness. Your frustration comes from resisting your own expansion. Your spiritual exhaustion is not a sign of failure, it is the sign that you are finally ready to surrender the search. Every spiritual breakdown is a breakthrough in disguise, because seeking must eventually exhaust itself. Only then does truth have space to reveal itself. There is always a moment before awakening when the old identity begins to crack. You feel like something is shifting, something is breaking, something inside you is dying. Joel said this is the birth of the new consciousness, the moment when the false self cannot continue and the real self begins to emerge. If you close your eyes right now and feel the silence behind this moment, you'll notice something, very quietly, is already aware. That awareness is not searching. That awareness is not behind. That awareness is not wounded. That awareness is not separate. That awareness simply is. That is the I am. You don't create it. You don't achieve it. You don't become it. You recognize it. Awakening is not fireworks. It is not a dramatic voice from the heavens. It is not a cosmic explosion. It is a peaceful recognition that says, "I was never lost, only distracted." You turn inward, you become still, you stop moving. And the truth that has been following you your entire life finally catches up and whispers, "I am." Joel often said, when the seeker disappears, God appears. But God doesn't appear as something separate. God appears as you, as your awareness, as your presence, as your being. This is the great revelation of Part 3. You stop seeking not because you give up, but because you finally see that the seeker was the final obstacle in the way of your own awakening. You were never lost. You were never behind. You were never unworthy. You were never separate. You were simply looking outward for what was waiting inward. The search ends not with achievement, but with recognition, not with finding, but with remembering, not with becoming, but with being. So take a breath right now and listen to the silence behind your thoughts. That silence is the presence you've been seeking your whole life. That silence is, I am. If this message touched something deep within you, let it stay with you. Like this video so more souls can awaken. Comment below, I am found. Watch parts 1 and 2 if you haven't yet. And subscribe for part 4, the presence that walks before you. And if you feel inspired to support this work, tap the Super Thanks button. It helps this light reach more people. Make sure you subscribe for more awakening wisdom.